Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Purpose Media. I hope that all of you are fine out there. It's really a very nice climate here with good rain, thunderstorm, and it's really nice. So today we are going to discuss about a very important experiment called Hershey and Chase experiment, which was done by Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase. Since now we have seen that what are the different experiments which led path to the discovery of DNA as the genetic material. So in this experiment, they are concluding whether it is protein or DNA that causes all the genetic informations, give the genetic informations. And after this experiment was proved, it was confirmed among the scientists that it's exactly DNA that is acting as the genetic material. Hershey and Chase chose to work with the model organism bacteriophage. Bacteriophage is not exactly a model organism, but they chose that organism for their study. Bacteriophage is basically a virus that infects bacteria and lives with the help of bacteria. So bacteriophage is basically a virus. I'll explain the structure of a bacteriophage, and this is a very simple lecture, and I'll explain you everything in a very simple form. And for infection, they have taken E. coli or Escherichia coli, and they have done all these experiments. Why they have chosen bacteriophage? Because bacteriophage is a very simple organism with just a protein outer coat and the genetic material which we know right now, which is inside the protein, which is DNA. So either it will be protein or DNA that will be causing any changes that's caused by this organism, and that's the reason why they have chosen bacteriophage. Now let's see what exactly is the experiment and how they concluded that DNA is exactly the genetic material. So let's first understand the structure of a bacteriophage. When I used to study, I always used to remember bacteriophage as a small spider that is running around. The first impression that will come to all our mind of a bacteriophage is, surely I hope that you also might have got that feeling, that of a spider running around. See these legs-like structure, where it resembles that of a spider with a head and a body. Here, this structure, which has 20 faces, is called an icosahedral structure. I hope that you all know what is meant by a face. If you take a cube, you will get 6 different surfaces, and that each of that surface is called as face. But here, when you count, you can get 20 faces, and such kind of a structure is called as icosahedral structure. This outer structure is mainly the protein coat, and you will find DNA or RNA inside this protein coat. Here I haven't shown the DNA or RNA. This protein coat, including the DNA or RNA, is called as the capsid. Here you will see the leg-like structures with a flattened structure, which will help to transfer the DNA or RNA to the E. coli bacteria. And this is called as the tail. And the in-between portion which connects this tail and the capsid is called a collar. An element that is present in DNA but not in protein is phosphorus. And an element that is present in protein but not in DNA is sulfur. So in order to distinguish between DNA and protein, they have given a radioactive label tag to phosphorus and sulfur. Radioactive isotopes of phosphorus 32 and sulfur 35 were used in this experiment. Due to this radioactive label, the phosphorus will always represent the presence of DNA, and the radioactive sulfur will always present the presence of show the presence of proteins. So let's see what exactly was the experiment that was done by Hershey and Chase. The bacteriophages, which I have marked in yellow color, was allowed to infect the E. coli bacteria. The mode of infection was in such a way that the bacteriophage will come and attach to the E. coli bacterial surface and inject its genetic material into E. coli. Once the infection is done, the protein coat, which is empty now without genetic material, will be left outside E. coli. So in order to understand it much better, I have represented the genetic material of bacteriophage, which is the DNA, in yellow color. So here they have attached to E. coli bacteria, and here we can see the infection is done and the protein coat is left over. Even at this stage, the scientists don't know whether it is protein or DNA that has been sent inside the E. coli for infection. And that was the hypothesis they put forward, that it might be DNA. At this stage, the scientists have used a blender for shaking this structure very well so that the empty protein coats of bacteriophage will leave from the E. coli surface and only the E. coli cell with genetic material will be left over. And now we know that this structure was subjected to centrifugation, and during centrifugation, the substance or the molecules with the higher weight or mass will be sedimenting at the bottom, and the molecule with less mass comparatively will be present in the supernatant. After the centrifugation, they found the result like the supernatant was having the presence of radioactively labeled sulfur, and the sedimented part had the radioactively labeled phosphorus, which meant that the sulfur that was present in the protein coat was not the genetic material that was sent inside E. coli bacteria, but it was the DNA that was radioactively labeled. We know the E. coli cells with the DNA was much heavier than that of the empty protein coats. And from this experiment, it was clear that it's indeed DNA that's the genetic material, and bacteriophage infects in such a way that the DNA will be sent inside E. coli and not the protein coat. I hope that you all might have got a very good understanding about what exactly is Hershey and Chase experiment. And now you know that how DNA was proved to be our genetic material. If you have any doubts, complaints, or any suggestions for improving these lectures, you can always contact me by commenting on the comment box below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and support me. We will see you in a different lecture again. Till then, bye. Take care.